What up, Bulls Nation? We've got a live CHGO pod coming right around the corner. On today's show, another week of NBA games is in the books. So, fresh power rankings for the Eastern Conference. Where do the Bulls land after a 1-4 skid following their 5-0 start? Plus, the Mavs fire Nico, Harrison, and the NBA world reacts. We will too. And our latest pluses and minuses, performances and trends we like and some we don't after the Bulls' last handful of games. All ahead next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls podcast, coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. CHGO Bulls presented by Michelob Ultra and Bet365. The delicious taste of victory deserves something equally superior. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra and download that Bet365 app. Be sure to use promo code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. What's up, Bulls Nation? Thanks for being here. Hit that like button if you're hanging out in the YouTube chat. Make sure you're also subscribed to that CHGO Sports YouTube channel. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's Big Day. Bam! Bam! BAWL Sports. Will Nico Gottlieb. Back in the saddle. Will Gottlieb. And King of the Controls, Joey C.
Hey,
what up, Joey?
See us for controls.
What's up, gentlemen? Good to see Goat back in the studio. Welcome back out.
Gave him the forceful point when he gave
really
that
did.
right there.
I thought I was in trouble for a second.
That's
right.
I like the all-black hat that also has a black logo on it. I can't tell from here what it is. What is that? Is that a Cubs?
It's Cubs. Yeah, it's a Cubs.
I was wearing my all-black Bulls hat last night.
It's a conversation for another day, but Cubs merch is underwhelming.
Yeah,
I love our CHGO Cubs merch here, but like Cubs hats and stuff, it's not cool. Like Bulls by far is the best. Blackhawks is pretty cool. Sox is great. But like honestly, Blackhawks and Cubs merch, it could be better.
Yeah,
could be better, guys.
I mean, I would point out that I think today is the day that the Bulls dropped something in the world of merch. But
okay.
I don't want to shed more light on that. Save your money, y'all.
All right, the jersey, City Edition, City Edition stuff. Yes, correct.
And they're so fire.
They are amazing.
I want one.
They are amazing.
But no, Jerry.
But they look like
no, Jerry. Not yet.
Look like this.
Show me something. All right, lots to get to today. Let's dive right in with our latest Eastern Conference power rankings. There's a lot of movement going on. Obviously, the Pistons flying up with this win streak that they're on. K. Cunningham and his buddies putting in work. The Bulls, one of a few teams to drop a few recently. Let's start with the back end of the Eastern Conference power rankings, and then I'll work our way to the top half. Because I think not a whole lot has changed with the bottom half. We have Nets, Wizards, Pacers as our bottom three.
Okay.
1-9, 1-10, 1-9. I mean, the Pacers, I thought coming into the season, despite the loss of Haliburton, would still be a quality enough team to compete, specifically in the Eastern Conference, when there's a lot of scrub teams. But it's now not just Haliburton. Like, they're missing a lot of guys.
Yeah.
McConnell's been out. Nemhard's been out.
Right.
Siakam took a night off.
Like, they got guys playing in their last couple of games that are on, like, hardship contracts.
Jeremiah
I heard somebody
Robinson
say
Earl,
that.
Cody Martin.
Like, that's rough.
Yeah, that's tough.
What is this, health and safety protocols era? Like, the poor Pacers.
I feel like I was lower on them than most because
You were.
I just didn't feel like they were going to put forth the effort that you need to in order to, like, play for a full season, knowing that they weren't getting Haliburton back and that you are without Miles Turner. But they're way worse than I thought. I do think a large part of it is due to the injuries, but they are just really struggling. And I think they'll turn it around. They'll probably get some help back in the form of Nemhard and McConnell.
Sure.
But they're just not going to be competitive, and it's a real good thing that they traded for their pick back the night before Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Yeah, you got that right, man. But, yeah, I didn't see 1-9. And that's why I disagree with you when you said, because as far as competing is concerned, like just knowing the makeup of the team and their coaches, like
it's
everything
crazy
about
to think
them says we compete, we're gonna fight. And looking up, seeing 1-9, all I can think of is injuries.
It's crazy to think that a team that was like, leading in Game 7 of the NBA Finals is now off to a 1-9 start.
Yeah.
But that's just
Well,
how the NBA.
I mean, shout out to the 1998-99 Chicago Bulls.
Hey.
Things happen fast, man.
Hey, Jordan.
Magic.
Corey Benjamin.
The Orlando Magic are also still in this bottom fifth of our power rankings, coming in at number 11. They have managed to get a few wins and almost fight their way back to 500 after their ghastly start that included an ugly loss to our beloved Bulls, second game of the season. They had a miracle 3 from Desmond Bane to get a win that they really needed the other night. The thing that's crazy about Orlando, I still think that they can right the ship a little bit and get somewhere from the bottom, fifth to middle fifth at least. Maybe even make their way back to being a playoff team. I had higher expectations for them. It's not just that they have a shoddy-looking half-court offense, again, trying to figure out how things work best with Wagner and Paolo, but they were an elite defensive team last season, and now they're not that. For whatever reason so far this year.
It's weird. It's very weird. It's another team that we had really high expectations for, like at least in the top 3 of the East, if not the top 4. But just to see where they are now and what those struggles are, because I thought Desmond Bane, I was like, oh, okay, you got Desmond Bane. He kind of quelled some of those things right there. And he's been struggling. I mean, he hit the game win for him, so that was huge that for him to get that. But in general, he's just really, truly been struggling, and they really need to add more offense on their team because Paolo can only do so much. Wagner can only do so much. And Bane has proven he can only do so much. So they're going to need something else to depend on, man. They're going to need a save big money Luke Kennard kind of guy on their team, bro. Like, they really do need that kind of sharpshooter on their squad because they don't have one of those that I can think of.
Yeah, Goat. And, like, we saw how much their half-court offense had issues at times last season, even as a playoff team. And it just – everybody said, okay, Desmond Bane, that's a bold move. You're giving up a lot. You're paying big money to a lot of these guys. Are they collectively good enough? I mean, I think a rockier start than people expected, though.
Yeah, 20th in offense, 19th in defense.
Wow.
The 20th in offense, I think, obviously you're not, like, super excited about that, but they've been really bad. I mean, bottom 10 for the last 10 years, I think.
True.
Basically since Dwight Howard left. 19th in defense. I mean, this has to be a top 5 defense.
Yeah,
with the personnel that they have, with the talent that they have, and with that being, like, part of their core identity, that's, to me, been the most disappointing part. And we've been keeping track of this whole thing. And they were the second, the team that fell the second most. So we had them originally, or I guess last week, at 9th, and they fell to 11th. So only one of 2 teams that really had a bit of a tumble. But I agree with you. I think they can right the ship a little bit. They're just like off to a really sour start. And I think they do have the talent and personnel to be able to get themselves back into a position where they're a little bit more competitive. But like the idea of them being a 50-win team, them being a top 4 seed, I just don't really see that right now.
Yeah, so crazy to say because it looks so easy for us to be able to say those things about this team. And also I think when it's moving like this, it puts your coach on the hot seat, man, because whether it's his fault or not, I mean, that's how you're judged on wins and losses. And is your team elevating and getting better under you? And it feels like they're kind of the same. They've up-tipped like this, but they haven't really just taken that huge leap. And you're going to look at the coach when those things kind of happen.
Yeah. All right. So in those 8, 9, and 10 spots, the bottom 3 of the play-in tier, we've got Celtics, Raptors, and Hawks.
Yeah.
5 and 6, 5 and 5, 6 and 5. Of those 3 teams, and you could also, I guess, throw the Sixers in there, who I believe landed at 7 when we flipped the script to the top half of the power rankings. Which of those teams is real, and which of those teams is probably going to stay where they are in that 7 through 10 range?
I mean, I feel the Celtics are real, and I feel the Raptors are real. The Hawks only because of Trey not being there. It's hard for me to say because you're going to go just kind of only as far as he goes. Out there, they could still be a play-in team, without him. But you're only going to go as far as kind of your best player is taking you. But I thought Boston was real before the season started. I thought they had something in them to prove. I still like the way they still had good bones, even though the house was broken down. The house still had good bones, and I thought that they would at least be 500 or flirting with it throughout the season. And that's kind of what you're seeing. Jalen Brown stepping into that role. Being that star on their team, man. So yeah, I think they are real. In the Raptors, I definitely had high hopes for being a team. So they are exactly where I thought they would be because on paper you would think they'd be higher, but No, on the floor, they still have to learn how to kind of play together with each other. Like Brandon Ingram is still figuring things out. We've seen a game where he was frustrated throwing water bottles down and it's spraying all over Scotty Barnes and stuff. But yeah, man, they'll get that together though, man. I really got some hopes for the Raptors.
Yeah, I think the Raptors are the team that's probably heating up the most. They're 4-2 in their last 6 games. They are 9th in offense and 10th in defense. So you feel pretty good about them at least being able to like build on what they're doing. Yeah. The Celtics have just been kind of average. I think they're 16th and 16th in offense and defense over the last couple of weeks here. The Hawks are, if I told you the Hawks were 7th in defense, but 18th in offense over the last 2 weeks.
You're lying to me,
but still somehow find a way to go 5-2. I just like the Hawks and the Magic are kind of in the same category for me where I just like don't really feel very confident in what they're doing. Obviously a lot of talent there, obviously a lot of hype going into the season, but just have not been able to figure out. And Trey missing some time is not great. But I kind of like what the Raptors are doing. I think they're going to continue to build on what they're going. I think the Celtics are going to be solid. I still wonder, are they going to try to make a tax ducking move and try to get into the lottery this year, just knowing Tatum's not coming back? Or maybe he will come back, but if it were me, I would probably take this year off and just not force him back, not try to get him to come back early,
right?
And try to add a marquee talent to this group.
Maybe Jalen Brown has a Lowry Markkanen-esque injury, in March and April.
So what do you see? Like when you say that, when do you think stuff like that will take place for the Celtics? I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it probably doesn't need to happen anytime super soon. Maybe like closer to the deadline after the turn of the calendar at the very least, just because like all these teams are still really bunched up and they have an opportunity to make, if they're able to like put together a run and like climb out of it, I think they're going to give themselves the chance to do that. But if they're in 9th, 10th, 11th place in 2026, then I just wouldn't be worried about it.
Okay, that makes sense.
The Sixers were the team that had the biggest jump from our last week power rankings to this week, either up or down. They ended up in 7th. If you want to flip over to the top half, Joey.
Flip a dip.
We had them in the number 1 spot after the first week and a half of the season, and I think rightfully so.
Yeah.
Because, man, they had just as dominant of a start as the Bulls. But then the Bulls had that awesome, crazy comeback win against them the day after we did those power rankings.
They did.
How do you like them apples? But I think, like, that, to me, just defines Sixers. It's the fluctuation of, is this a real team or is this a broken team? And that can change on any given night. By the way, Joel Embiid, tonight, Sixers playing, he will not. Knee soreness. We have seen the script before. So I think that with some of the losses they've taken, they are now 6-4, just like the Bulls. It's just like, do we take this team seriously or not?
That depressed me a little bit reading that again about Joel Embiid, and now they're going to consult with other doctors about the knee soreness. Because now for me, it puts you in a place where it gets a little scary for your career when this is consistently your issue year after year after year. And it doesn't seem to waver, doesn't seem to get better. You've had all the surgeries. It just kind of reminds me of Lonzo Ball and just the concern we had with him in general about his health, just in general, about walking. And thankfully, he got the right surgery and got the right things to get together. But Embiid, man, like just the talent of what he has, it feels like it's being robbed and kind of taken away from a guy that is just a specimen on the basketball court, an MVP on the basketball floor, man. And to not have him there, the league is better when you have your stars, when you have your superstars. So for him, still dealing with it, still going through it, it just makes me sad for him. It really does.
And I'm glad for Philly that they're able to like have the 2 timelines thing where they've got Embiid, or they've got, Embiid and Paul George on one side, and then they've got Maxey and Edgecombe.
Yeah.
And it's like this younger group, McCain, Grimes on the other side, so that they're not just like completely screwed for the next 5 years. They've got some bad contracts on their books. They'll have some stuff to figure out. But it's a bummer. And
bummer.
I do wonder, to your point, Dave, if it's going to turn into a transplant situation, which is what Lonzo did. And Lonzo's been back, so good for him. And hopefully if Embiid does go that direction, obviously I'm just speculating here, but if it does go that direction, hopefully it works out for him and he is able to get back on the court.
Yeah.
Let's knock out our first ad break right there. When we come back on the other side, we'll finish up with our look at the top 6 and the power rankings of the East. The Bulls right there in that 6th spot. Hit that like button during the ad break if you haven't done it yet, and we will be right back with that. Nico Harrison, plus minus, and more.
Hey, Julia.
Stick around.
Being good. It's good. Being great.
All right.
It's even better. But ladies and gentlemen, you want to be ultra. And the only way you can do that is with that frosty, cold crispiness of Michelob Ultra, whether can or bottle. Once it hits your lips, the taste is full throttle. The delicious taste of victory deserves something equally superior. Cheer on your team with a Michelob Ultra. Yes, you can. Why is it Ultra, Big Dave? And why is your hat so dope? Well, the hat is dope. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. That's what makes it Ultra. It's a superior smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra is the official American beer sponsor of your Chicago Bulls. The superior game meets the superior taste. Hello, superior game. Hello, superior taste. So no matter what you're playing for, you can make it superior with Michelob Ultra. Be Ultra Magnetic.
Today's show also brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
True.
And you can see for yourself with their Tip-Off Tuesdays offer. Ooh. Right now, you can place a qualifying same-game parlay bet with the safety net bet feature on Tuesday NBA games. That's today. And get up to $10 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Terms and conditions apply. Download that Bet365 app. Use promo code CHGO365 when you sign up, because when you do, you're going to also get that offer of $200 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. Win or lose a bet, don't matter. $200 in bonus bets. You can use those bonus bets on player props, futures, spreads, totals, and more. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. We're back. CHGO Bulls rolling along on Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for being here, Bulls Nation. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. All right, diving back into our East Power rankings. Let's look at that top six. You can throw the rankings up again, Joey. We have got Cavs at the top. That's where they were last week as well. 7-4. Beating the Bulls on the way to that 7-4. But, man, did you see that dramatic L they took to the Heat last night?
Did I?
The inbound play to Bam? That was a thing of beauty.
Wiggins. But it was me. That was me.
Yeah.
That was me.
Pistons are going streaking. They are now 9-2, best record in the East.
7 in a row.
7 in a row, including that, 46-point night from Cade Cunningham last night. Needed 45 shots to get there. Bucks and Knicks at 3-4. The Heat, who beat the Cavs, at 5. Bulls at 6. I think somebody in the chat said, that top 6 looks about right. No disrespect to the Bulls, but now I think their power ranking positioning kind of matches what their record is, whereas maybe their power ranking position was lower than what their record was last week.
Let's start. What do I start? Okay, we'll start at the top. I originally had the Pistons at 1, and then I changed it after I saw who they were beating in that 8-game losing streak, and then their last loss was to the Cavaliers. So I was like, all right, yeah, we're going to at least be 2. You're at least 2 in that one. The Bulls, I think I had at 4, either 4 or 5 on there. Yeah, you're going to drop when you lose games, and you lose 3 in a row, but I also was looking at who they were losing to. Those are legitimate basketball teams they're losing to. And the Bulls have the hardest schedule in the NBA right now. Their strength of schedule is the worst. It's not good. But to have that tough of a strength of schedule and to not have your bucket getter and to be without a Josh Giddey and to be without your Zach Collins, and you're still 6-4, I found that really impressive that this team is doing it like that, and had a chance to even win that game yesterday. But like I said, you without your best, and you saw an alien land on the UC floor. But yeah, I'm impressed with what the Bulls are doing winning-wise. I knew they would be fun. I continued to say that in the offseason. I knew they would be fun. I knew the offense would be fun to watch. The winning and beating these teams that they're beating is something I did not see coming, and it is a great extra early holiday gift to actually sit there and watch the Bulls actually do that. Now, as they go on, they will have the easiest schedule in the NBA.
They do.
As it goes on, and they get past basically Detroit, and a couple other, but once they get past
they still have 3 Zards games on their schedule.
Come on, baby. The Zards are there.
Two Brooklyn games.
We didn't even play Brooklyn yet. Oh, baby. It's time to stack some of these dubs up.
There's some chumps up there.
It's some opportunities to get some extra wins for the Chicago Bulls, man. So going through this hard stuff early and still coming out successful on the other end is key for this team.
It's almost like it reminds me of the Zach LaVine trade last year, where like they did the trade 2 or 3 days before the trade deadline, and everybody was like excited about it. There's new direction, there's new optimism about the team, and then the trade deadline comes and they don't do anything, and everybody's like, "What? You didn't make any trades this trade deadline?" When in fact they started 6-1, but then they just happened to drop 3 in a row right after that. I feel like it's kind of the same thing. If you would have asked any of us here, would you be surprised or positively surprised about a 6-4 start to the season? All of us would have said absolutely yes. Yep. Yeah. So I do think that they're off to a really good start. I think some of the like numbers that maybe we could talk about during the plus minus section, I'm a little concerned about in terms of like how sustainable what they're doing is. So we'll see. I did want to call out a couple of the decisions that I made closer to the top.
Okay.
I went Cavs over Pistons. Obviously, like the record and the point differential probably leans towards the Pistons. Obviously, the Cavs coming off of a bad loss last night. Not a bad loss, but a tough loss.
Tough loss.
For me, I don't know how you guys are thinking about this. I'm not necessarily going like week to week who had what do I think is like the order of these teams this past week. I'm kind of going more on like as you look at the whole season right now. And I still feel like the Cavs are the best team in the conference. I still feel like if you put them in a playoff series, they're the favorite against any of these teams. They're still missing a lot of players. Their health has not been great. They're getting guys back. They're losing guys again. Strus hasn't played. Garland's just coming back. I think they're going to be okay. I'm very like confident in their ability to like get through a regular season and still be in good shape for the playoffs. The Pistons, I think, are playing great. Cade is obviously scoring the ball very well. Obviously taking a lot of shots to do it, but they're playing at a high level, and we'll just kind of see how that progresses. But I wasn't quite ready to put them above the Cavs just based on these last 7 games. The Heat are playing really well. Their point differential is not really reflected in their record, but I think that they're a real team to be reckoned with, and they haven't even had Tyler Hero yet. And then the Bucks, who we saw the other night, just so impressive the way that they're playing right now, and Giannis especially. So,
I think I had the Bucks 4. You had them 5. Dave, you had them 2. Do you want to take a quick moment to speak on what you're liking from the Bucks? Giannis is playing like an MVP.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, okay.
Grand opening, grand closing. Giannis is playing like the MVP, man. Like, he's been phenomenal. He's been great. And they're another surprising team for me. I knew they'd be a playoff contender. But I didn't know early on they would, come out like this. I mean, young guys on their team are stepping up for sure. And I like how Doc Rivers kind of has them playing and the belief in themselves of where they are, because they're winning games without Giannis being on the floor. And I find that really impressive for that team. But I felt that they were the 2, and it was between the Pistons and the Cavs for me as far as the 1 and the 3. And the Pistons, like I said, when I'm looking at the teams you're beating, I'm like, okay, let's see it. You know what I mean? I need to see a little more. I can't wait for this Pistons game against the Bulls, by the way. But I just want to see a little more, because 8 wins are still 8 wins for sure. But I want to see who you're beating in those 8 wins, man. Are we whooping up, the chumps? You know what I'm saying? Are we, actually beating down some real serious teams out here? So that's how I kind of judged it. And I like how you said, you're wondering how we're looking at it. What I find dope is, I think we're all looking at it differently, but still coming to the same kind of conclusion. You know what I'm saying? About where these teams kind of are with, little minor differences and things like that. But overall, baby, it's ball.
I think, like, if you can rank them kind of in any order, but I think generally speaking, we're all kind of on the same boat as far as the tiers.
Yeah.
And like how these teams are in general.
Does do the Heat surprise you right about now? Because they are 7-4. And I believe in the top 4 right now, if I'm not mistaken.
I will say what has surprised me of the Heat that I have watched, and credit to Spo, they've changed a lot about what they're doing offensively compared to not just last season, but the last several seasons, where like that half-court offense was poopy. Not enjoyable to watch, not super effective.
Yeah.
But they're doing a lot more off-ball moving. And effective, screen setting and guys, running around screens trying to find open shots. So like I like the new look Heat offensively, and they're always going to give you a tough challenge defensively.
Yeah.
I don't like crediting that because screw the Heat now and forever.
Fair,
but
very fair point.
But I am somewhat surprised by how well they're playing out of the gate when they still have the same similar to what I would say the Bull situation is, which is like quasi, not quite stars.
No, you're right. And you also found very funny that if the playoffs started today, you know who the Bulls would be playing?
The Bucks.
The Miami Heat.
Oh, they've been playing the Heat?
They've been playing the Heat.
Not based on power rankings, based on standings. My bad.
Yeah.
Heat 3, Bulls 6. Yeah, there you go.
You playing them right now, bro?
Oh, well, you know what that means? At least 2 home playoff games
That's
for
it.
Jerry.
2 of them things, baby. Jerry boy.
Maybe 3 if we can push it to 7.
Let's go.
Also, Mark Wood in the chat pointed out, you just said you're hyped for that Bulls-Pistons game tomorrow night, Dave, and their record. How real are the wins? What's the competition? They also, the Bulls got some injury issues. The Pistons, 6 rotation guys out.
Yeah.
Damn injury, says Mark in the comments. Yeah, it's rough across the league everywhere. We just got the update earlier this afternoon. Jalen Green, 4 to 6 weeks out for Phoenix with the hamstring. On top of Embiid not playing tonight, knee soreness.
We'll see if
terrible, man.
We'll see if Cade Cunningham gets a day off from elbow soreness.
Yeah.
Taking all those shots
from
man.
the 45 jacks.
Shot put uppery, I think, is on the injury report.
Man, dog. Ouch.
All right, so that's this week's East Power Rankings. Let's see where the Bulls are next week. With that, let us now take the temp, because there was some big NBA news elsewhere earlier today. Taking the temp, brought to you by your trusted local experts, Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
I'm just cracking myself.
Having fun over there?
I'm having a ball.
Shout out to our pal, the one and only Mark Stein, friend of the program, DLLS Mavs.
We know him.
Subscribe to his Substack. There was a lot of chatter in the first weeks of the NBA season. How long is Nico Harrison going to keep this job in Dallas, especially if the way things are going, keep going, with them struggling with wins and losses? Mark Stein, earlier today, tweeting, "It's in the offing. It's imminent. It's happening today, y'all."
Yeah.
That was at, I believe, 9:10 a.m. Central Time, his first tweet. Then he had a couple of subtweets, quote tweeting it with more updates. And then I think Shams had another tweet about it, but his was at like 9:21, 9:22 a.m.
Yeah.
Take that, Shams.
Take that.
Our guy Mark Stein beat you to it.
Steinbaum.
Shout out to our guy Mark Stein.
Like how Zach Lowe said, if it's coming out of Dallas, then I'm trusting Mark Stein on this stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there it is. The Mavs do fire Nico Harrison today. Their new owner, no longer Mark Cuban, issued a letter to Mavericks fans explaining the reasoning for the dismissal, along with an apology. Said, thank you for holding us accountable somewhere in that letter. And I got a chuckle out of that as a Bulls fan. Who could imagine, right? But, this is just big news because the ripple effects of the Luka trade are still seen in what's happening this season.
Man, dude, first of all, congratulations to my main man, John
Sabine, and all the Mavericks fans out there.
Has just been in a real dark place.
A weight
for about a year
today.
Yeah, man, he's been having a tough time, bro. And he's very happy now. So he's got some, I shouldn't say very happy, but he's got some joy and some justice with Nico Harrison being gone. But, man, dude, this is a legacy move that Nico Harrison made, and it will be judged and go down, in history, however people might call it, the worst trade in NBA history. We got to still see how it's finishing, playing out. But, man, watching what Luka's doing now and seeing what your Mavs team is now, even with a guy like Cooper Flagg on your squad, it's tough, man. So, yeah, Mavs fans, shout out to you. Keep holding on and make sure you're tuned in to DLLS Mavs.
It's just not a trade you make. You just don't do that.
Yeah.
You just do not do that. You don't trade a 25-year-old superstar in his prime, months removed from making the NBA Finals. You just don't do it. Yeah. That is a go down with the ship type of move. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I think that we forget how much the fans matter here. This whole business of the NBA, all of it, the players making all the money in the world, the salary cap going up, the ticket revenue, all this stuff happens as a result of fans being interested in the game, of fans wanting to go out and watch and support their team. And the second people lose sight of that is when you start making decisions like this that are not for the fans and the community of the team that is supporting that team and watching them every day. And so, I don't want to get into all the stuff about all Nico Harrison's moves, but clearly Mavs fans were ready to move on. They were chanting "Fire Nico" every single game.
Oh my gosh!
It was cathartic, I think, for Mavs fans.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that teams in professional sports, not just the NBA, not just, professional sports, need to remember from time to time that all this is for the fans. And if you are just doing stuff to alienate your fans, that in and of itself is a fireable offense to me.
Watch Matt Peck.
What? I think this man deserved to be fired for a very questionable, at best, decision that he made that has already backfired. But to me, as a Bulls fan who's always like, trying to correlate things, connect dots, honestly, I thought about it. It made me think of AK stating there are multiple ways to build good competitive teams in the NBA right now.
Correct.
There's the superstar or a couple of really good stars and then supporting cast members way. And then there's trying to build a more, egalitarian roster of, trigger warning, hashtag 9 to 10 good players. And we're going that route. And to AK's credit and defense, he did not say that he prefers, as I recall, the 9 to 10 good players route. He said that's the route we're taking.
Yeah.
And I think in some ways he kind of shoehorned himself into having to take that route because of the pieces he had and the lack of flexibility, the roster, the cap, everything involved. This is the route we're going. Makes you wonder if AK were in Nico Harrison's shoes. Do you trade Luka Doncic? Because I want to build a more leveled out roster and not pay $1 trillion to one superstar.
No.
It's like that one superstar led his team to the NBA Finals the year before.
Generation.
To your point, I think that's something you say when you know you have no way to get a superstar.
Right. Exactly. So apples and oranges a bit, but it does, make you think. Because I saw, shout out to our guy Mares, somebody in the emergency pod for DLLS Mavs today was saying, AK could be like a low-key good steal for the Mavericks to bring on board.
I got to say right now, I sincerely agree with him.
Yeah.
You think so?
I mean, we should be really careful. We should be really just very careful right now.
Great opportunity.
Nobody picks up the phone.
Talking.
My only quick thought on this too, as well, is that like general managers of any sport, we're not just talking about basketball here. Like they do stupid things all the time.
Yeah.
No, it's true. They make wrong decisions. They make stupid decisions all the time. But this is also an interesting cautionary tale about risk aversion in like the opposite way.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think a lot of teams are sometimes afraid to maybe mortgage their future to bring in a star. This person was willing to mortgage his future to jettison a star. And it's like an interesting conversation on how these guys want to keep their jobs and sometimes maybe don't go all in for the fans to try and entertain the fans because they'd rather have 2 or 3 years stuck in their job. And this is just an interesting, weird, reverse upside down case of a guy thinking that he is bigger than maybe the fans or the organization or whatever by taking such a huge swing. And clearly 12 months later, he doesn't have a job
bigger,
anymore.
But smarter. Thinking he's smarter than everyone.
Well, there's words for that too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a backfire of, hey, if I trade Luka and pivot in his new direction, it'll give me a longer, a longer road of job security.
You don't do that. You don't.
He gave himself a shorter window.
Like the basketball gods.
He
will
dismantled
not
a
reward you for
championship
these things.
team to put together a team that he thought had championship equity that didn't, but did have a much shorter window. It's like, it was insane.
It was,
It's just it's a trade you just simply don't
Luka's
make.
too expensive and injury prone, but we're going to build a championship team around Kyrie and Anthony Davis. What are you doing, man?
And like, obviously those are really good players.
Yeah.
But it's like the name of the game in the NBA. And this is a separate conversation for another day, but like right now we know for a fact that you need a superstar player to win a championship. That it doesn't happen without that.
Say it again.
Those are the
You
rules.
just do. And like maybe that's not always going to be true. Maybe we're shifting away from that. But like right now what we have is you try to do everything that you can to find a superstar.
Yeah.
Because that's the game. And until you have one, you haven't really started anything yet.
Yeah.
And like I do think that relates to the Bulls in an interesting way. We could talk about that another time. But like when you have the guy, you have your guy. You don't do anything. Like usually it's the star pushing his way out.
Correct.
You don't push the guy out. You just don't do it.
Not over snacks.
All right, we got to knock out our second ad break right there. When we go back on the other side, it's plus minus time. Performances and trends we like and some we don't. From the Bulls' last handful of games. Hit the like button. While you listen to these words from our friends and sponsors, if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Hit the like button.
Never over snacks, kids. Never. Factor meal kits are delicious. All right? They are absolutely incredible. I was so excited that they are back on board because I knew that Factor meal kit was coming to me.
I mean, Factor pork chop tonight.
Oh, man, that Scampi has got my name on it. Wait, they got anything you need, man. I'm a pescatarian. That's how I roll. Matt loves beef. That's how he rolls. But they got something for everybody. However you want to do it, they got you covered, man. Whether you have a nut allergy, whether you don't want soy product, it don't matter. They've got you covered at Factor, man. You can savor global flavors, man. For the first time, you can try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. It is amazing. Variety is the spice of life, and you can get all that with Factor meal kits, man. Eat smart at factormeals.com/CHGO50off and use the code CHGO50off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. You heard me. That code CHGO50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid up to new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renew subscription purchase.
Today's show also brought to you by Prize Picks.
Prize Picks.
Dave, we make decisions every day.
Yeah.
But on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid.
Facts.
Don't miss out on any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Yeah.
Prize Picks is simple. Just pick at least 2 players' stats. If you get those picks right, you can cash in.
Cash.
Play Prize Picks to get action on football in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia.
Shout out.
Prize Picks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits in your account this football season. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code CHGO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. We're back. CHGO Bulls rolling along Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for hanging out with us, Bulls Nation. Hit that like button if you didn't do it at the break. Before we get to plus minus, hilarious comment here in the chat. King Kunta 22 saying, was sitting 2 seats to the right of GOAT last night at the game. Shout out to your coworker who let us put our diaper bag in your seat after you left.
Hey.
Much love. Hashtag C Red.
Shout out,
You know
GOAT.
what they're talking about?
I actually left so that you could use the chair for the diaper bag. So you are very welcome, my friend.
GOAT, people's champion.
That's
always.
right. Always looking out, baby. That's how he rolls.
Say hi next time.
I was going to say, did this person say hi to you?
No, I didn't. I didn't notice the baby though. So
I
beautiful baby.
always find it like funny and amusing and also a little bit frustrating when somebody says in our chat or on Twitter, like, oh, hey, like I saw you, whether it's at the Madhouse or somewhere out and about streets of Chicago. I saw you.
No matter how aggressively I am typing on my computer, you can always stop to say hi.
Y'all know I'm all about it. Come on in. Come say hi. Get this love, man. I'm all about that.
Yeah, just grease the goat a $5 bill. He'll look you in the eye. Otherwise, forget it.
He's a $10 guy.
Come on now.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Fold it.
You think Goat's working the streets for just a $5? Come on now. This guy's blue chip, all right? High end. With that, let us dive into Plus Minus, another one of our regular segments. Plus Minus is presented by our friends at Michelob Ultra.
Yeah.
The delicious taste of victory deserves something equally superior.
Victory!
Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra. What do we like? What don't we like from the Bulls' recent stretch of games? Out of the gate, I am going to say that I like what I'm calling fair fights for the Bulls.
Fair fights.
And by that, I mean, am I frustrated, borderline just really ticked off thinking about what their record could be, watching them lose winnable games to Milwaukee, Cleveland, and San Antonio the last 3 games. All winnable games, all quality opponents. Could you imagine if the Bulls had won all 3 of those games? Could you imagine what Bulls Nation would be like right now?
I would be out of
vibes-wise,
my
energy-wise.
mind.
Nobody would be
man.
getting anything done.
No.
Because they would be like, all right, you know what? Let's do an 18-hour pregame.
Why not?
Bulls fans, if they were 8-2,
Yeah.
9-1,
Oh my God. Oh my God.
city
Oh my
was
God.
shut down.
Oh my God.
But despite the fact that they are not 9-1 or 8-2, but instead 6-4,
Yeah.
it was hard to watch Giannis just dominate the paint and the Bucks run away with that one last Friday. It was even more frustrating to watch the Bulls cough up a 19-point lead and watch Spida kill them with the spider poison again, which we've seen that script so many times with Bulls fans, on Saturday night. And then last night, Bulls in position, up 9, heading to the 4th. We're going to beat the alien Wemby and the Spurs, the 7-2 team out west. And you cough that one up too. It's so frustrating, and Bulls fans have every right to be frustrated with this 3-game skid. But on the brighter side of that coin, they nearly won all 3 of those games.
Yeah.
And those are 3 legitimate NBA teams.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about strength of schedule earlier, Dave, and the fact that the Bulls up to this point have had the hardest strength of schedule across all 30 NBA teams, and from here on out, will have the easiest strength of schedule. Yeah, it sucks that they're not 8-2 and are 6-4 instead. If you manage to win 2 of those 3 games from Friday, Saturday, and Monday. But man, it was fun to watch them play in games that they were in, because my expectations coming into this season, you're not in all 3 of those games.
Yeah,
based
correct.
on the talent that I see this Bulls team having.
You didn't think they'd be competitive?
Why you gonna do that to him?
Sorry.
Man,
Go on,
no
sorry.
good.
It's
He
a
was
Tuesday
trying.
off day
Sorry.
show,
You
Coach.
saw him putting in an effort right
on
there.
now.
And Coach said we're kicking on her down
Like,
right now.
It is.
I had to.
It is what
low-hanging fruit.
I like. They've come out on the losing side of their last 3 fights.
Yeah.
And even missing Kobe and Josh last night.
Yeah.
Missing Kobe for all of them.
Yeah.
The fact that the Bulls are giving these teams these fights, I am encouraged by it.
No, you're absolutely right, and they have been competitive. They have really given themselves a chance to win on every night, and they never roll over in these games. Even when they do go down, they always find a way back in. The first quarter of the Spurs game, I thought was going to be a disaster. I mean, they were down 10 really quick. Every single time they tried to go to the basket, Wemby was there, and then they flipped a switch, and they were awesome in the second and third quarter. And so you do have to give them credit for that, and I think it goes to show how much buy-in the Bulls players have, but also how much they believe in the system that they have built, and they've now seen themselves be competitive these games. They've seen themselves beat these teams that most people didn't think they could beat, and I think that gives them a certain level of confidence and commitment to continue playing that way.
Yeah, Matt saw the Bulls lose a game today, and now he's really tipped
off.
off.
Paul
Sixers
in chat
game
said,
too,
who's-
by the way. Sixers game, Maxey looked like he was going to score 80
Yeah, he did on his birthday.
on his birthday.
Yeah, it
and
looked
Bulls
really
fought
bad.
back in that one too.
Well,
looked really bad.
I was 50 because it was his 25th birthday, so it would make sense.
It would.
2 points for every birthday
Yeah,
year.
that makes sense.
Paul said, "Who's this guy? Who's the glass half full guy who looks like Matt?" It's me. It's really me. Nobody body snatched me.
Yeah.
I tried
it's-
to take him down.
He
It's
but-
did.
not, it's not my evil twin who's trying to put an optimistic lens on
Pat
on the
Mack?
Bulls dropping
We don't
some
like
games
Pat Mack.
recently.
Pat
It
Mack.
would be hilarious if you did have a twin and you were just pulling up prestige on us, and you just
Ooh, Matt's evil
the
twin.
negative one
Matt's
was
evil
in
twin
here from time to time, but
would
the
be-
positive one came every
It'd
once
be
in a
a
while.
vegan who didn't have a mustache.
Yeah.
Who wears suits all the time. Like, who loves water and
Like vegan,
health
wears suits, see red Fred, basically. It's like my evil
Yeah,
twin.
the evil twin just keeps asking, or you keep asking the evil twin, why did they sign Giddey? And he goes, I don't know. You don't know. You don't know.
Guys, I don't know if you know this, but I have complete faith in Bulls ownership and management, bringing them back to championship contention any day now.
oh man.
Retinal scan him.
That's the I've been
That's the
kidnapped alert. If you ever hear me say that.
Dave, why are you going to the police station? It's not that, guys. It's not him.
The return of the body snatcher.
To the other part of what you're saying, what also is exciting is since that strength of schedule is so low, you do have a chance to build those wins. So since you couldn't go that 9-1, you got a chance maybe to be 10-4,
Yeah.
11-4, something
And
like
maybe you learned something in those losses, in
Yeah.
these fourth quarter losses. What did you do? What didn't you do the right way that led to you coughing up a late 6-point lead to San Antonio, coughing up a 19-point lead to the Cavs?
Yeah.
What went wrong when you were in it until the midpoint of the fourth quarter against Milwaukee? Learning exercises.
Listen to some of these next handful of games. Okay, you got Pistons tomorrow, obviously.
We can win
Then
that.
you start that 5-7. Start with the Jazz, who are not a very good team.
Bye.
You've got the Nuggets, who are obviously a very good team. The Blazers are pretty good this year.
Yeah.
The Heat are pretty good this year.
Yeah.
But then you've got Wizards, Pelicans, Hornets, Pacers, Magic, Nets, Pacers.
Let's
So
go.
that is pretty soft.
That
You
could be
stack
what,
some
like
wins there, for sure.
six or seven wins in an 8-game stretch?
You can start stacking, and then knowing that's around the time Kobe
Jazz,
is supposed to
Wizards,
be back.
Pelicans, Hornets, Pacers, Nets, Pacers.
Dude,
That could be 7 wins.
That could be Kobe and Zach Collins back around that time as well, man.
Oh, I think Kobe will be back by then.
Yeah,
for sure.
getting that full strength would be great.
The other part of the test of those games is, can the Bulls not play down to the level of their competition?
Great point.
The other
Great
thing,
point.
we shouldn't take any wins as put them in your pocket wins.
No, man. They need to continue this the way they've played every single game so far this season. That's a great point because we've seen them play down.
Yeah.
We used to argue and yell about the fact they're playing down to certain teams, and that would get them in a lot of trouble the past couple seasons, man. So let's see if this new mentality sticks.
And my minus for plus minus is kind of, it goes along with my plus of fair fights. And I like the fact the Bulls have been in these games against these quality opponents. It's just been really frustrating to watch how these fourth quarters have unfolded, and particularly, Giannis, Spida, Donovan Mitchell, and Wemby the last 3 games. I think they have each scored either 16 or 18 points in the fourth quarter of those games. And like, yeah,
That's crazy.
we talked about it a little bit on last night's post game.
Yeah.
The whole like, hey, the Bulls got bullied and worked by one of the biggest, brightest stars in the league in each of these 3 losses. And the Bulls didn't have their closest thing resembling a star, either of them, in Kobe and Josh. In last night's game specifically,
Right.
you had Josh out there against Milwaukee and Cleveland. You still lost those, but it's just like it's hard to watch a team with a superstar take over in the fourth quarter of a game that the Bulls are in.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating.
No, you're right. Like watching great players be great and they're not on your team. It's bittersweet.
Gosh darn it.
It's a little bittersweet.
I want one.
I'm not Matt's evil twin, but we do share a brain.
Uh-huh.
So Matt and I kind of had the same kind of thought even beforehand with what I went with. Matt was going to go with, but also on the minus, we kind of shared the same kind of brain.
Okay.
But we'll start with the plus, which I felt was Jalen Smith.
Why didn't he play the whole fourth quarter, Dave?
How dare you? Breathing be damned. He's been awesome. He's been really it reminds me of last season, how he started off. And his first year here, I remember that. He started off really, really hot. And it's when it got to that, towards the All-Star break and into the second half, he kind of fell off. I was concerned about him coming in because he would consistently have that knee wrapped. And he still does have that knee wrapped, getting it right. But it has not deterred him or affected him in any way. He has just been great. His last 5 games, 12.4 points, 7.4 rebounds, shooting 47% from 3 with a true shooting percentage of 70.5.
Damn, let's go.
He has been outstanding for the Chicago Bulls, man. And he's the guy that's getting to the free throw line as well for them. So I've always said you can kind of set your watch by how he's going to do. It's going to be pick or pop and pick and roll. And what I liked, especially when he went against Wemby, was there was no fear there for him. He didn't care.
He went at him.
He went at Wemby, dog. Like, he was like, kind of give me the ball, and we're just going to be in the post, and I'm going to work it out that kind of way. I love that about him because even if it got blocked, he was like, I'm going to get it back, and I'm going to go right back up with it. You're just going to have to keep blocking this shot. You love having those kind of guys, on your team. And also guys who can make Billy Donovan's job harder. Because when a guy like Zach Collins comes back, who he favored in that second half over Jalen Smith, some of it had to do with injury, but some of it had to do with how he played, it's going to make his job a little bit harder. How do I keep this dude off the floor? Hell, people don't even want him off the floor in the fourth quarter. How you going to keep him off the floor when Zach Collins
last night
PO'd? All right? So it's a great problem to have. And it's a great asset to have right now with Jalen Smith, man, because the three-point shooting, the play inside, and the free throw shooting has really, really been awesome and needed for this team.
Go, you surprised by how strong Jalen has been over this recent stretch of games?
I'm not surprised. Last year I don't think he played particularly well to start the season. Then Zach Collins comes in and kind of takes that role over, and he just never really got into a rhythm. So much of his game is shooting the ball well, and he just didn't really do that. When he first came over, he was 43% with the Pacers in that final year over there, and then last year he was, I think it was 33%. I think he dropped 10%. No, it was 42.4 and then 32.4. So 10% worse. This year he's up to 37.8. I think he's looking a lot more like himself, and he's getting that opportunity, and the Bulls really need him. Vooch has been playing really well, but with the way that they play, you just can't play super heavy minutes. He's getting 16 minutes per game this year, and it just feels like he's kind of finding a rhythm a little bit more. I do think that he's going to make some threes. I thought he was very fearless attacking the rim, and he's going to block some shots, and that's really good in a reserve role. I don't think he is ready to step into a 30-minute a night starting role, taking on all those defensive responsibilities. But that doesn't mean he's not a really solid role player for the Bulls, and he's certainly helping them. I feel like the last couple of games, they've gone on a run as soon as he's come in the game in the second quarter, and that's kind of helped them with those turnarounds that we talked about.
No, absolutely right, man. He's been great. He's just been really good for them, man. As far as the minus is concerned, my minus for the Chicago Bulls, the beloved, is fourth quarter free throw attempts.
Ooh.
So you mentioned, yes, Matt, the fourth quarter play, has been for the Bulls. I think the free throw attempts also play into that because you need them in the fourth quarter, especially when you don't have a guy like that who can go get their own shot. And the Bulls don't really have that guy. And then their best guy last game wasn't out there. in a guy like Josh Giddey. So who was going to be able to do that? Well, then that's when the free throw line is supposed to become your friend. So just looking at yesterday, in that fourth quarter for the Bulls, their free throw attempts, 2. They were 1 of 2, and that was one player, and that was Kevin Huerter.
And weren't they in the bonus like halfway through the quarter?
Something like that.
Come on.
Spurs had 11 in that fourth. Okay? So even going back to the Cleveland game now, and this is where I found it very interesting. Now, in the Cleveland game, they did get 12 attempts in that fourth quarter, and they were 11 of 12. But the Bulls had 24 points in that fourth quarter, which means those free throws accounted for almost half of those points for the Bulls, as opposed to, because from the field, they were 6 of 19. They shot 31% from the field.
Eek.
As opposed to the Cavs, who were 6 of 7, but they scored 32 points in that fourth quarter. So I want more free throw attempts, but I don't want it to be the reason. And in that fourth quarter against Cleveland, it was the reason. They had to have those free throws, all right? And you saw what happened. Milwaukee, the other game they lost, 2 free throw attempts. Josh Giddey had both of them. The game they lost against the Knicks, 2 free throw attempts. They can't do that in the fourth quarter. You have to get to the line in some kind of way. It's why I continue to get on Modest about those things. When he's having the opportunity to be out there in the fourth, he can create in some kind of way, and they're gonna give him a call or two. He's got to get to the line. Josh Giddey, that's his thing as far as drawing fouls and getting to the line. He's got to do those things in the fourth quarter. Ayo Dosunmu, another guy who can attack the basket and get it done. However they find a way to get it done, they've got to get more free throw attempts, more bites at the apple. Has to happen for the Chicago Bulls when it comes to free throw shooting in the fourth quarter.
And the like kind of coinciding with free throw attempts in the fourth, the other thing frustrating about last night, Wemby had 4 fouls for a long time.
He did.
And it's just like, why did the Bulls not make a more concerted effort?
That's a good point.
To get fouls number 5 and 6.
That's a good point.
Because Wemby, I think, has fouled out of a game already this season.
Yeah, he did.
And so
he
it's
absolutely
like,
did. Yeah.
Get that freak off the floor.
Yes, for
Maybe
real.
give yourself a better chance to win.
Seriously, man. He can't be out there, but yeah, just work on that, Bulls. Work on that.
All right, go.
I do, just to respond to that real quick, because
Yeah.
both of you guys brought up fourth quarter, and I thought that was important. I do feel like it just, without Giddey, and obviously without Kobe too, it's been so difficult for them to score these last couple of games. I feel like the free throws that they've gotten, they have had some free throws in the fourth quarter. It's like intentional fouling late game. It's not like they're driving and creating contact and like forcing teams into fouls. So I agree with you. I think Giddey coming back healthy really helps them there, because the offense in general in the fourth quarter has just not been able to maintain. And you look at some of the games where they have won, it's like that momentum, that like Bulls like wave when they just like everything is clicking and they're moving on all cylinders and they're getting downhill and they're spraying it around and they're moving the ball. All that stuff happens, I think, as a result of them playing with pressure and with pace. And to their credit, they did that without Giddey last night. But I think having him really makes it easier, and he's been tremendous at getting to the foul line. So good on him for that, and the Bulls will really need him there. So hopefully he's not out too long. As far as my plus-minus goes, the plus was the shot quality. I feel like the Bulls have done a really good job of like playing the math game. Certainly better than a couple years ago, but even really better than last year. Number 1 in location adjusted effective field goal percentage, which means that if all teams shot league average from each spot on the court, the Bulls would have the number 1 effective field goal percentage. So they're taking high quality shots. They are 3rd in the league in transition offense. 18% of their offense is coming in transition. That's a really good number for them. Helps them get high quality looks, helps them get easier baskets, and just rattle off some runs. I think that's been really important for them too. They are number 14 in catch and shoot threes per game. I think that's an area where they need to improve in terms of generating those. But they're 4th in the league in making them. So 41.1% on catch and shoot threes this year. That's fantastic. They need to create more of those opportunities. That comes from driving, that comes from playing in transition, that comes from getting downhill and getting to the rim, where they are number 1 in the entire league. 43.6% of their shots come at the rim. Best in the league.
Wow.
Problem is they're not finishing. They're last in the league in finishing there. So that's an area where they can really improve. And it's why
Talking about plus minus.
It's
Grand
why.
closing, baby.
But here's the spin zone. Ready?
Come on.
They're getting there and they're just not finishing. If they can start finishing those more, and theoretically they should be able to do that if they're not playing against Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Then those can turn into points, and maybe that's like an extra 2 or 3 points per 100 possessions on your offensive rating. Boom, you're like into some real good territory there. So I asked our friend Tim Cato to check on Second Spectrum. He said the Bulls are generating the 12th best shot quality in the league. That's lower than I expected, but back to that point I just made, I do think that if they are making and just converting some of the shots that they are getting, which are high quality looks, they can be a lot better there.
I'd love to know what their numbers are on the corner three, because I feel like they've done
I
a
can
great.
tell you because I wrote that down and I didn't say it, but 11% of their shots are corner threes. That's number 4 in the league, and they're making 42.5% on them. That's number 8 in the league. So
Wow.
top 10 in both number of corner threes that they're taking and percentage on those shots. Those are good looks, and I think corner threes is something I think Fred Katz said on Zach Lowe's podcast. Like, those are not like, you're not just getting those. Those are like something that you earn. You create those out of good offense. And that's a testament to the ball movement and the driving.
And I feel like that was something that came up a lot in games last season when the Bulls did take a bunch of threes, but had a bad shooting night, and some Bulls fans who weren't buying into this let's play fast and shoot a lot of threes aggressive shift from DeMar and Zach ISO-heavy ball from years past. I was like, well, just because you're taking a lot of threes doesn't mean it's good offense. And absolutely, there's truth in that criticism. And this year, like last year, they were, top 5, top 3 in three-point attempt volume. A huge shift. This year, they're only 21st in the NBA in total threes taken per game right now. But they're 4th. They are 39.9% as a team. So it's like, it's not just about taking a lot of threes, it's about taking good threes.
Yeah, and I've asked Billy about this a couple of times. Basically what he said is like, part of the reason why their volume of threes is down is because they're doing a much better job of getting to the rim.
Right.
And so if a greater percentage of your shots are coming at the rim, that means less of them are coming from 3. That's great. And then also same for the free throws. The free throws are up. That means less opportunities to get 3-point shots, but it's because they're creating shots at the rim, which is really, I think, what they're going for. And that leads me to my minus, which is their rim defense. Their rim protection has been not good this year. They're allowing the most shots in the league at the rim this year. And we know from everything that we talk about on the Bulls offensive side, the importance of those shots. The Bulls are last in the league at percentage of shots converted at the rim. They're making 61% of those shots. So if you're giving up 40% of your shots in a zone where people are making 65% of them, that's just not going to end well, frankly.
Can we see that, Joey C? Will's plus minus?
The minus.
The minus one.
So I think they just need to try to take away some of those in a way that they have not really done so far. They are changing up their defensive scheme and hugging shooters a little bit more and not really leaving those guys open, so that's part of it. But I mentioned the location adjusted effective field goal percentage. They're number 1 on offense. They're number 29 on defense. So they're giving up a lot of high-quality looks too. And they are taking away some threes, but it's really the rim defense. If you aren't putting like resistance at the point of attack and you're just like relying on Vooch to deter shots at the rim, it's just not going to go well. He's been great this year. That's just not his strength. And if you're giving up that many open layups, it's just going to be really hard to overcome.
How much do you put on Zach Collins not being there?
Zach Collins had incredible rim protection numbers last year.
He really did.
It was in a very small sample, and I don't think I can look it up. I don't think he's been great for his whole career.
Right.
So
but he was
I don't want to
half a year for the Bulls.
He was, but I don't want to sit here and say the Bulls are going to be an elite rim protecting team when he comes back. So you don't want to put that on any single one guy. That's what we said about Okoro on the perimeter too. It's like you can't just rely on him to turn off drives from star players. Star players are going to do what they do. He's going to make life hard. He's going to take away some of those looks, but not enough to be like I said last week. I mean, if you don't want to be last in anything, and so if you are giving up a lot of shots at the rim, I think that can only be a bad thing, and that's something that they're going to need to clean up.
They have trimmed it down a bit. I remember in their first 3 or 4 games checking and seeing the Bulls were dead last in points in the paint allowed at like 60. They're now 26th in the NBA in points in the paint allowed to their opponents instead of 30th.
All right.
So,
Moving
but
up,
I think for the
that-
most part,
The Jeffersons.
That does
don't
help,
know.
but like
Every little
they
bit
cannot. They're not going to be a high level defense this year if
No.
they are giving up that kind of offense at the rim. And
true.
they have gotten lucky, I think, with the number of or like the percentage that opponents are shooting on threes. I think this is another one too, where teams are just shooting only 64.3% at the rim, which is the 5th lowest number in the league. But you figure that's going to start converting because, again, the Bulls don't have a lot of rim protection. So if they're getting there and they're missing them and the Bulls don't really have any guys like that, like I do think you can feel a little concerned that, hey, teams are going to start converting these at some point. And if you're giving up this many, it's not going to go well.
That's true.
The absence of Collins, I saw somebody talking about in the chat earlier. It'll be nice to get him back, but just like Isaac Okoro, one man is not going to fix anything. No. And it's not like Vooch is still your starting center, as much as Bulls fans kick and scream about that. But I think a good balance of things to be encouraged by and things that could be better after this recent stretch of games.
I agree.
5-0 start, 1-4 stretch after that where, that 1-4 could have been 4-1, honestly. Yeah. Like, it's crazy.
I think a lot of it in what you and what myself are saying, if you look at it, it's about finding the balance for the Bulls because they're number one in something and then last in the other thing that they're protecting against. So where's the balance? Because you're not going to stay there and you're not going to stay there either. Mm-hmm. So they have to find where that balance is, and that will really determine and dictate who your team is when you're able to find that. Now, of course, like we said, injuries have happened. Guys have to get back. You'll get to figuring that stuff out. But your identity will still be what it is once you get that balance, and you'll know what kind of team you are. So no matter what injury happens or what occurs, you'll know exactly what to play and how to go about that, what kind of scheme you're going to be running defensively or offensively. No matter who's going to be out there, you know what's going to be expected.
Anthony in the chat saying, if you ain't first, you're last, Will.
Ricky Bobby.
I've heard a different theory.
Okay.
If you are ninth, you're first. Just depends on which way you slice it.
He's back, baby.
We will get out of here for today. We will be back tomorrow. Bulls back in action in Detroit, trying to go 2-0 on the season against the Pistons, who are the hottest team in the East.
Fuego.
They got Cade balling, but a lot of injuries on that injury report for the Pistons. We'll see who's in, who's out for them. Will Josh Giddey play? Will he take a second night off before they head out on that road trip? We will be here for a live pregame show, 5:30 Central Time, to get you all ready for that one. In the meantime, make sure you're reading GOAT stuff, allchgo.com. Become a diehard so you can read all of it, the very best of it. We do have a diehard offer going on right now. Use promo code GOAT. Sign up. $36 first-year offer.
Woo!
Bada bing, bada boom. Follow him, Will_Gottlieb. Big Day Bow, BWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. Shout out to you. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't done it yet. Shout out to King of the Controls, our guy Joey C. Have a great night. We'll talk to you at 5:30 Central tomorrow. See you right. Be good.
Rest in love to Michael Ray Richardson. Peace.
And Lenny Wilkins.
We all silly like the mayor.